Out for a little morning adventure. Gonna take a walk up on the hill. See this? So I like to go look for snakes. It's early. It's about, I don't know, 8:30 or 9 or something. And I'm gonna go out and see if we find any snakes. Maybe do a little video, show you guys what's going on. Take a look around. We find usually a lot of rattlesnakes up here actually. So if we catch something, we'll get to show you guys. Show you what's going on. Get a little exercise, get out into nature. It's all good stuff, man. So what I do is I usually pick a side and we'll walk up here and take a look in the grass right off to the edge of the trail. Sometimes you'll see some just hanging out. Not very often do we run across them out in the open, but usually we've got to go lift up stuff. But sometimes they'll be just hanging out right there. They want to stay hidden from predators like birds and stuff. So I usually walk up one side and then walk on the other side on the way down. So we'll keep looking. Stick snake. I don't know why every stick I see on the ground looks like a snake. Lots of turkeys up here. Deer and coyotes, all kinds of cool stuff. And turkeys eat snakes, so snakes don't like it when the turkeys are out. Get all puffed up. Like a little velociraptor. Actually, let me get pretty close. You should go off to the side and jam down the hill. Walking down to an area that has a bunch of rocks. Usually find rattlesnakes there. I'll show you why. I brought a flashlight, even though it's the middle of the day. Got my little snake stick. Basically, nothing elaborate. It's just a piece of welding rod that I've bent up. That way I can kind of reconfigure it for where I need to go. So this is what I was talking about. So we've got rocks, but what I don't want to do is actually walk down from the top, because the snakes will be on the bottom side of the rock. They'll be hanging out just under the ledge usually, so that they're still safe from predators, but they can get some sun, especially it's a little cool out right now. It's about 54, 55 degrees. It's early enough in the morning. The sun's behind the clouds a little bit. It's going to warm up a little bit, so maybe they might be out. We're going to take a look, but we're going to come in from the bottom side. So all these rocks, this is kind of where they like to hang out. So I'm going to use the light. I can shine the light into the holes and kind of spot them, see if they're hanging out, and then hopefully use my stick and maybe try to grab one out, show it to you guys. So you can see if I If we look in there, I can use the light, kind of shine a light in there. That'll be hiding in there. And that's where the stick comes in. So then we could take our stick and kind of swirl around in there. You don't want to stick your hand in there because, you know, that would be bad news. The stick can go in and not get hurt in any of these spots. So we'll keep looking around. They bang these rocks around and stuff, and you can, they'll usually rattle and, you know, they give themselves away a little bit. We'll keep looking. So we didn't find anything in our rocks. We're going to go up to another area where I can use the light. Again, we'll take a look on the way up and see. We've got a few things we can lift up, and usually they want to be hiding like in those rocks or something. We'll keep looking. Here's a good example of stuck in these bushes here. Let's see if we got anything under there. Keep going up here. It'd be nice to find one just kind of out sunning itself, but that's pretty rare. Most of the time, find a snake, even when you're looking in the right place, you have to be there at the right time. You know, we find a lot of places that we look at under logs and rocks and stuff. Like we know down at those rocks, there's snakes there a lot. We catch a lot of them there, and we find sheddings and stuff. But if you're not there at the right time, as well as being at the right place, you still don't see them. So there's obviously some luck involved. Keep looking. I'm going to take a look underneath this slab. We usually see some under this slab because there's probably a den here maybe. Okay, so here's an example of why we pick things up. See this board right here? Look over in that corner right there of the board, and you'll see this is why we come up here. If you take a look right there, that's a little baby rattlesnake. So we'll pick him up and then put him back. He's just chilling under. There, trying to stay warm. If I can get a good view of this, prop you up here. Get my little stick, look under this board, make sure we're not grabbing one and having another one come at us. Trying to keep warm. He's not even rattling or anything. See, it's he just wants to get away. That's what they all do. He's cold right now because it's fairly cold outside. He's curled up trying to stay warm, And we're gonna let him be and see if we can find maybe his big brother over here. So here's another board. You know, we take a look under these things, and sometimes you don't find snakes, but this is pretty common for us to find too. Take a look. Lots of those around. Lots of those around bluebellies. We see a lot of skinks, a lot of alligator lizards up here. You just gotta keep looking around. Very rarely do we ever see one just walking through the grass. You know, there's a common thing, oh, snake in the grass. Very rare do we ever run across one out in the open, because, like I said, there are snakes up here. There's lots of them, and there's lots of rattlesnakes. We're actually looking for, what I want to find is a gopher snake or king snake, garter snakes, you know, racer snakes. There's lots of other cool stuff to find and catch, and that way we can kind of hold them. I don't want to hold the rattlesnakes. They can get a little bitey. They're not, it's not that they're aggressive, they're just defensive. Everything up here wants to eat them. So, you know, even though we might be able to hold them and they might be chill after a while like most other snakes, you know, it's pretty high price to pay. So I like catching those the least. I like catching king snakes the most, but they're the hardest ones to find. Lots of gopher snakes usually. Just haven't seen any yet. See? He's got his posse with him. That's turkeys up here. So we'll keep walking down the other side. See, maybe we can see something. The sun's starting to come out. See if we can see something on the other side. And it's important to note that when I grabbed the baby rattlesnake, never even rattled. Wasn't aggressive, didn't try to strike at me. And anything that they do is defensive in nature. They don't attack people. If you are climbing on the rocks like I was, and are climbing down and step past the ledge, and he happens to be hanging out at the bottom of the ledge and he strikes at you, it's not because he's aggressive and wants to attack people. It's because you stepped next to him and he thought you were trying to eat him, which most of the things up here try to do. And his strike was defensive in nature. It'd be like if you were walking down the street and somebody walked up and socked you in the face, and you socked them back. Your reaction was not attacking that person. Somebody did that to you, so you reacted to that. And the snakes are doing the same thing. If you corner them and they think that you're big, you're 6 feet tall and 200 pounds, he's like 3 or 4 feet long and weighs a few pounds. In that contest, he knows that he's going to get second place. So in the competition between a person and a snake, the snake is definitely going to lose that battle. And as they do in most things, unless you happen to be a lizard or a skink or a mouse or a frog, you know, humans are kind of too big for snakes to handle. So, especially in the case of the rattlesnakes, they rattle and tell you, "Hey, get away from me!" And then they, you know, they'll strike at you if they think that you're trying to eat them. So we'll keep looking on the way down and see if we can see anything else. Got a little bit of sun peeking through here. Hopefully, might find something coming out and trying to sun themselves. They like to hang out. This grass right now is tall enough that they can actually kind of hang out in the grass on the edge of the trail, get sun, but still be hidden from, you know, there's lots of birds flying overhead. We saw the turkeys and stuff. Those will go around and eat the snakes too. So we'll keep taking a look down here and see if we can find something. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the adventure. I got to go up on the hill, get back with nature, got to see some turkeys and all kinds of stuff. Obviously we got to catch the baby rattlesnake. Now, earlier that week, I'd actually captured 3 others, including one that was an unwanted guest at my sister-in-law Michelle's wedding. Congratulations to Ben and Michelle. But I'm going to be doing these videos and going out on these snake adventures. It makes me happy. I like to take an hour or 2 or whatever out of my day, go take a look at them. It's the right season now. We're looking at March and April. The snakes are out, although it's a common misconception that snakes hibernate all winter. They do not do that. They will come out when it's warm and hunt for food and try to get warm. them, so they're not like bears where they just stay in for 6 months and then come out later. I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be adding a snake tally to my playlist to find out how many snakes we can catch. So what I'm trying to do is we're trying to exceed 100 snakes of any variety. They can be rattlesnakes, but I'm hoping we can go out and catch king snakes and gopher snakes and racer snakes and garter snakes and all that stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. More snake videos coming up.